Yeah, so if I come in here, we can actually subdue. It's only a 43% chance, but if this goes off, it's essentially dead. We've essentially one-shotted it, so come on. 2 times the charm? Yes! Ha ha ha! Age of Wonders is not a game that I've covered very much on the channel, but it is certainly a game that I have played and enjoyed quite a bit over this past year, and it just recently had a new DLC be released. That is the Empire and Ashes DLC, which adds, among other things, a new culture which uses gunpowder, or I guess it's technically mage lock, which is like magical gunpowder, but anyway, gun units nonetheless in Age of Wonders, which is something I've wanted for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump in, show you guys quickly a little bit of early game campaign. Who knows, I may continue this campaign if the video gets good traction. I did try and do some multiplayer, but unfortunately we were having some stability issues, so wasn't able to effectively capture multiplayer gameplay for you guys. But hopefully they release a hotfix to address some of those issues, and I can actually showcase multiplayer on my channel. That's definitely what I would prefer to do, but for today, we'll just jump in on some single player. I've got this Vampire Coast inspired faction here, which of course is using this new Reaver culture. There's also been plenty of balance changes, tweaks, especially to the traits system. You can now choose any traits, and they have a point value assigned to each one, so since there's no crab mounts, I went with the spider mounts. We've also got hardy because, of course, we're eventually going to turn our people into meatbag zombies. That's the plan. Swamp adaptation as well. Experienced seafarers, of course, also has a buff now. Gives you extra experience and damage on water, and also gives you bonuses to river provinces as well, which is nice for those non-aquatic maps. And then we've also got fabled hunters because, of course, we're going to be out doing some hunting. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm on a map inspired by the Bleak Coast Isles region in Warhammer. So it's a frozen island map with hostile locals, and it should be a good time. So we'll jump on in, and I'll just quickly run through some of the new things you can expect in the DLC, and then we'll go to the gameplay. So if you want to skip straight to gameplay, I'll try and leave a timestamp down in the description below. You can get right to it. So we start out with the Suppressing Barrage ability, gives an AoE battle spell, which is 10 physical damage, and Immobilize, which will come into handy later. Certain units do synergize well with that Immobilize, but if I go on in here to the Encyclopedia, we can go over to the units and switch to specifically the Reaver culture and take a look at all the new units on offer. So the Scout is pretty cool. It's like this little magical construct eye blimp thing. Mercenaries, low-tier spearmen, not particularly good, but yeah, they're here. We're mostly going to be using skeletons in their place in this particular build, but anyway. Also got the Harrier here, which is a skirmish unit with this net ability, immobilizes and does a little bit of damage, and also inflicts marked. So marked is another big component of the Reaver culture. Basically, it gives less evasion and also gives more damage for any units which are of the Reaver culture, or obviously you can get the tech to apply it to other units as well. The Overseer, this is where the immobilizing and stun effects come in. You can actually capture units, and then if you have enough of a certain resource, which we'll look at, you can actually get them on your side, which is pretty cool. Very strong mechanic, potentially. But the target has to be immobilized, frozen, or stunned. So, in particular with undead builds, they kind of point you towards using frost magic. So we're going to go, again, in that direction in this particular build here. And then, of course, they've also got a heal and marking blast, so they can mark abilities with their regular attack as well. Mage Lock is kind of their main line unit, you could say, a gun line unit. They do have a heavy weapon, which means they have to stay stationary. They can't move at all and fire, which can be a little bit of a problem, can be a little bit janky to work with if you, let's say you're fighting a lot of flying units or units that can easily get in your backline and disrupt their ability to shoot, but very strong attack, and of course gets extra damage against marked units. Then for your tier 3, you've got the Dragoon, or the Pistolier, as I'll probably end up calling them. Definitely one of my favorite units in the new update. They've got pistol and sword, they can harry, obviously cavalry, so they get all of that. They've also got this Master Skirmisher, so after attacking, they actually regain some of their action points and can then move again, but not attack. Yeah, very interesting. And then Mage Lock Cannon, of course. This is Something you can build in sieges also, but yeah, it's a cannon. You can fire it at long range and does decent damage in an AoE with also focused aggression as well. So that's basically it for the new units. There's also some new tomes. We can look at them briefly here. I'm not going to go too deeply into them. We'll kind of see them over the course of gameplay, most likely. But, well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll cover these in a separate video. But anyway, yeah, these are also here. There's some new tomes and stuff. But anyway, let's get to the gameplay itself. So we've got Mr. Harkon here. We'll get him rolling. You know what, actually, let's take this blimp guy. See if we can recover this dread spider hatchling. That's absolutely perfect. It's on water, which is just fantastic. We can send him over to the city here. And then let's get Harkon to come attack this stack here. We can just auto-combat through these early battles. Ooh, looks like we actually captured a White Witch. So this is a perfect introduction to this mechanic here. So you've got this resource, War Spoils. Yeah, you gain it through various means. You've got to be attacking units and cities from empires and free cities. You don't get it from just harvesting the creep mobs, but you can use it to, again, capture units. After you've captured units, rather, you can get them on your side. And also, you can use it to interact with the free cities. You can kind of force higher relations with them, although it should be noted that you start out with -1 Whispering Stone as a Reaver vulture. So, yeah, you can kill units or conquer cities. Anyway, so I've got a little bit of this resource just to start, and I'm going to use it to capture this White Witch. Give an extra caster in my army. That'll be really nice. I do somewhat lack casting ability as this faction, so it's nice to be able to get that from, you know, your tomes and other sources as well. Looks like we've got a little haunted graveyard down here, so we'll want to go take care of that sooner rather than later. But let's see. Go ahead and set the research. So probably want to go for Bone Horrors pretty early. Again, we don't really have access to a lot of charging units, so we'll want to try and get access to that as much as possible. Here, to start, we'll go ahead and just get food to get our early population going. And then, yeah, let's also start recruiting some skeletons with the souls that we've got. Get some more low-tier meat shield units. So I may end up editing a little bit through this early game as I kind of clear through some of these creeps, and we'll maybe check back in once we're on to some more interesting stuff. Alright, here we are in battle with Luther Spider-Con here on his crab spider. We've also got a big undead spider, or a crab rather, here with the Bone Horror. And yeah, as you can see, we've kind of ranked up and teched up a little bit here in terms of army skills. Got Summon Undead now with him, and for the rest of the build here, Dread Spider Hatchlings. I mean, it's not really a build, it's my campaign armies, right? But you know what I mean. We've got the Overseer support unit here, still got that White Witch, some mercenaries, guns, and this Harrier here on the far side. So we're against this creep army here, which is mostly, it's in fact all flying units, all birds, potentially very dangerous. This Phoenix in particular could be a big pain to deal with, but I'm not too worried about these Grimbeak Crows, although famous last words, certainly. Let's consider they do have very high movement speed, so I need to be really careful about how I use these guns. I'm going to move them up kind of very cautiously here, making sure I check their movements. And let's come get in this bush here. That should give us pretty safe area to work from. Part of me wants to come forward and try and freeze this. What's the range on that freezing blast for? So I couldn't quite get within range on this turn. So let's just kind of hang back in a relatively safe position here. Yeah, the Phoenix is the one I'm mainly worried about. So I'm going to try and tank the damage on my hero if I can. And we're going to possibly heal him. I think, yeah, if I stay back like this, Phoenix can get to me. So let's go back one more. That should be nice and safe. Go ahead and just throw him a heal. And then we'll back the Spiderlings up as well. So that way we can take the damage on one of these two for that initial charge. And then the rest looks pretty good. Not quite within range to mark anything, so we'll just kind of let my opponent have the initiative here. Hopefully this is the right call. Nope, yep, just moving up just a little bit. That's okay. So this gives me a little bit of initiative potentially here, so let's see. Let's move forward, and I'm going to mark the big phoenix, and let's see if we can possibly... I mean, I guess if I go within range of him, it does cancel out his charge, right? So if I come here like this, go ahead and mark him, since that's a free action pretty much. Oop, he's going to retaliate though. And let's go ahead and throw the nets there. Get a little bit of retaliation again. Oof, that's some serious damage. So that's all right, though. We did not successfully immobilize. Oh, we did immobilize the one crow. That's okay. Not totally ideal, but let's see if we can get this guy within range to shoot, or perhaps not on this turn. That is unfortunate. Yeah, this thing's going to be blocking line of sight, so won't be able to shoot up and over that, but can at least just move around here, I think. Yeah, let's move up like so. And the White Witch can come through here to allow a gap for that, and then let's see if we can freeze the Phoenix. Yes, excellent. Okay, that's perfect. I can actually... Let's see, what's the range on this? 3? Yeah, so if I come in here, we can actually subdue. It's only a 43% chance, but if this goes off, it's essentially dead. We've essentially one-shotted it, so come on. 2 times the charm? Yes! Perfect. So, another reason why kind of the spiders and frost magic do synergize very well with this particular unit. You can definitely get some hilarious... again, it's basically like one-shotting a tier 4 unit at that point, which is just fantastic. So that makes things quite a bit safer for us. I still don't want to get too crazy here. Just because of the nature of these flying units. They are quite dangerous to me. So let's come in here and make sure I'm just kind of well protected in a nice line. And maybe we can throw a little soul fire here to start damaging these ones in the back line. Or even better, if I have this suppressing barrage, I can perhaps immobilize them. Nice, all immobilized, so... Looks like definitely some great opportunities for crowd control with this new faction. In fact, we can even move up a little bit further. And let's go ahead and just... everything else is immobilized, but it's a ranged attack, so it'll give marked as well. Let's go ahead and throw it there. Nice. Okay, we'll come forward a little bit here. And what's not marked? You're not marked. You have a mark. There we go. Marks for everyone. The mark does stack, I should say. But interesting. Okay. So, nothing there. I do have soulbound attacks, which is just going to give me extra souls, of course, on anything that Harkon attacks, either with his melee or ranged attack. Give more souls at the end of the battle, which is just fantastic. So... let's see here. Is it possible to kill this guy in this one turn? Yep. Okay. Speed that animation up there. Normally I play it with the fast animations on, but I figured you guys would want to see some of the new units and such in their full glory. Alright, so we can now take a shot with the pistol here. Excellent. And charge attack. Probably should have done that charge attack first, honestly, because it does cancel defensive mode. But, 40% chance to hit. Let's do 50% chance to hit. Fantastic. Grazed, but still the graze does a substantial amount of damage. It's pretty interesting. So we can move in these 2 last melee units and try and finish it. There we go. Get your little simmies out. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish this one here. Excellent. So I got some pretty good luck on that, being able to take out the Phoenix. Unfortunately, I don't have the resource available to actually recruit the Phoenix into my army, which would be really strong this early in the game. But hey, at least we got to dispatch it quite easily. So yeah, this new culture, I have to say, has some pretty great synergy opportunities. And I don't know that this is necessarily like the most meta way to play them, but just on paper, it does seem like these abilities do synergize quite well. And I'm excited to tech later on into the tech tree with some frost magic and see if we can really get the freeze going. With the mobilize, I'll have lots of opportunities for crowd control and just general battlefield control, which is always powerful in a tactical strategy game like this. Let's see here. Can we finish him on the charge? And that should do it. See, so then the subdued basically means that the unit is... it's just a terrain piece at that point. You still can technically attack it, but yeah, we've managed to capture the Phoenix. So if I close this out here... yeah, unfortunately it is 120 of this war spoils, which I don't have any of because I haven't met any city-states or other civs yet, but... definitely a potentially very powerful mechanic, and that's going to be pretty much it for me today. Just wanted to bring you guys a quick one. Could probably continue at least like 3 or 4 more videos of this series in this campaign, just to kind of get a feel for how you guys feel about this. You know, given the situation with Total War Warhammer right now, I just figured it's in my best interest to try and branch out and to do some different content for you guys. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about this, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.